El día de ayer, para quienes no hayan podido acompañarnos, tuvimos una sesión verdaderamente productiva, enriquecedora y con una cantidad de temas alrededor justamente de la gobernanza realmente interesantes que además van a poder ver en línea en los próximos días en el sitio oficial. En realidad les recomiendo mucho que se echen una asomada en las pláticas que se dieron el día de ayer, pero las pláticas que vamos a tener el día de hoy, las mesas que se van a llevar a cabo no están menos interesantes ni menos relevantes, al contrario. De hecho, vamos a abrir con una primera sesión verdaderamente, a mí en particular me entusiasma mucho. Nos acompaña Pari Aftab. Ella está considerada prácticamente la primer cyber lawyer o la primer abogado experto en cuestiones cibernéticas y ha hecho un trabajo profundo y muy interesante en cómo tenemos a los niños y cómo acercamos a los niños a la tecnología, cómo los empoderamos y cómo garantizamos que al mismo tiempo que el uso de la tecnología sea verdaderamente positivo para ellos, también se encuentre esto en un marco para ellos mismos de seguridad en términos del tipo de contenidos y el tipo de amenazas que se encuentran típicamente en la red y cómo poder prevenirlos y combatirlos. La conferencia va a ser dictada en inglés, sin embargo, Pari nos está comentando que quienes no hablen inglés o quienes no entiendan inglés, más bien, podríamos en un momento dado pasarnos todos a un grupo enfocado en esta área del auditorio para poder hacer una traducción en simultáneo hacia el español. Entonces, en verdad los invito a que si el inglés no es nuestro fuerte, se puedan pasar para acá, para esta área del auditorio, de tal forma que puedan ir traduciéndoles a ustedes la conferencia, cosa que además agradecemos mucho. Thank you very much, Pari, for the translation option for the...
Yo entiendo, gracias.
Muchas gracias. Y bueno, sin más, le quiero ceder la palabra entonces a Pari Aftab. Ella forma parte también del board de Google y tiene una actividad constante pública en materia justamente de ciberseguridad, particularmente orientada a los niños. Pari, welcome. Gracias, muchas gracias por acompañarnos y adelante.
Discúlpame porque yo puedo hablar en español, pero ese es mi primer día en México, entonces necesito una semana más antes de hablar practicando mi español. Entonces yo voy a presentar en inglés. Discúlpame. I am the founder and head of the world's largest and the first cyber safety organization. We are all unpaid volunteers. That includes me. We started 20 years ago, and we operate out of 76 countries in the world. My volunteers deal with anything that can go wrong online, but our first priority is youth. The head of my program in Mexico is a medical doctor from Cabo. Alejandro Pisante is on my advisory board. And I hope that we will be working together. At the end of my presentation, I'll explain how. I lived in Mexico 40 years ago in Guadalajara, and I love Mexico, especially chilaquiles. So today I'm presenting on how we can protect young people from themselves. We deal with sexual exploitation, we deal with sexual predators, we deal with bad things that can happen to young people on digital technology. But the greatest risk our children face in connection with digital technology is being denied access. They need the internet for school, they need it for life, they need it for their jobs, they need it for their health, they need it for their future. And without children who are trained in how to use the digital technology the best way, Mexico will fall behind. Mexico is a very creative country, very creative. The music, the art, the literature, the poems, the history. You have something very special to contribute to the world. Your children have something very special to contribute to the world. But they need to be able to use this tool to do that. And without it, Mexico will fall behind. So I'm here to see how juntos podemos hacerlo. Okay? So, next screen, Manuel. Gracias. When we look at youth doing at-risk activities, you need to understand that all of them are engaging in risks. All of them. And they start from the first time they use digital games. We are seeing cyberbullying in the United States starting when the children are 6. They steal each other's passwords. They go into the game and steal each other's prizes. They blackmail each other at the age of 8. If you don't do this, I will tell everyone that you still wet the bed, or you pick your nose, or you cry. As they get older, the methods used for cyberbullying change. Blackmail does not occur again until they're teens, 8 and 15. 85% of young people from the age of 12 to the age of 16 told us from the United States and Canada that they had been cyberbullied at least once. 60% said that they had cyberbullied someone else at least once. We polled 43,000 young people. Although I expect the numbers are a little lower here in Mexico, I hope, your children are facing these issues from their peers, from their friends, from their romantic interests every day. And yet, parents do not understand how to deal with this anywhere. They don't understand in the United States, they don't understand in Canada, they don't understand in Hong Kong, Australia, England, they don't understand here. The benefit that you have, and why I want to concentrate our work this year and next year in Mexico, is because you have stronger family relationships in Mexico. You still have grandparents who know their grandchildren. You still talk to your children. Sometimes you still eat with your children. It's a different culture than we have in the United States, where parents are often single parents operating alone. And a strong family culture, multi-generational culture that you have here in Mexico, a strong unified religious social background and culture, a strong system where everyone has typical values, strong family values, is important to making this work. And I think you can do a better job at this here in Mexico than we can in the United States or Canada or anywhere else in the world. 5%, that's the most the young people tell us they will tell their parents if they're cyberbullied. They don't trust parents. There's 67 different reasons they don't trust you. As parents, you overreact. What? I can't believe it. This is crazy. I'm going to call the parents. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the federales. We're going to do all of this. Or, I don't understand. I'm busy. Deal with it. Or, turn off the technology. Or, what did you do that started this? 67 different reasons. And they all tell us, if they come to you when they need help, you don't know what to do. So I'm going to teach you a few things. The first thing is, if young people come to you because they are cyberbullied or something serious happened on the internet, the very first thing you do is give them a hug. Not technology, not the federales, not the FBI, a hug. I love you, I trust you, I am here to help. Then you have to make sure you do help. You don't call the federales first, or me, or the FBI. You sit down with your child and you say, what's happening? How can I help? Sometimes the young people know what they want you to do. Sometimes they don't want you to do anything. Maybe they only want you to listen. Then, when they tell you, you leave and go into the bathroom. You take a washcloth, a towel, put it in your mouth, and scream. After you are calm, after a few cervezas, and whatever, drogas, whatever you need, then you go back out and you say to your child, okay, calm. You never let them see you sweat. You want them to believe you are in charge. You want them to believe that you know what to do. You don't know what to do. Then you call me. Then you go to stopcyberbullying.org. Then you go to Wired Safety. Then you call your provider. Then you go to Facebook and you learn on safety how to report things. To Google, you go to these places where you can get help. But you don't let your child know that you need help. You need to be strong for them. Scream in secret. Okay? Are you understanding me? Oh, thank you. Now, if only 5% will trust you as a parent, you have to be in that 5%. And I believe here in Mexico, the numbers will be higher. They will trust you more. So what we need to do is teach parents what to do and teach the children. You as a parent will go home today and you will say to your child, if you are cyberbullied, if something bad happens online, I want to be the first person you tell. And then you make a promise. I promise not to make it worse. I promise to help. I promise not to be your problem. I even have a contract. Soy una abogada in the United States. Entonces, I always have contratos. So we did a contract between children and parents, telling your parents, the children writes it, what they want you to do if something goes wrong online. And you sign it, and they sign it. Maybe young people will go not to their parents, but to tios, or cousins, teachers, parents of friends, trusted adults. You need to make sure that you are a trusted adult for other people's children, and you want them to be a trusted adult for yours. But if you talk now, before your children need your help, they will come to you when they need you. And we will teach you and create programs across Mexico with Alejandro's help and Manuel's help and Google's help and Facebook's help. We will run programs to teach you to know what to do, to prevent cyberbullying, to address cyber problems when they occur, and to teach your children how to be responsible when they use digital technology. We start with bicycles, with what we call training wheels in the United States. So the children first have 3 wheels, tricycles, and then training wheels in the back of their bikes. Eventually, we help them. First, they run into trees. They run into us. But eventually, when they know how to ride a bike, we take off the training wheels and we let them ride for 50 kilometers. We need to do the same in cyberspace. Instead, we say, no, bikes are too bad, they're too dangerous, you can't use them, or I trust you, go, here's a bike. Both are wrong. Young people need our guidance, they need our expertise. They may know more about digital technology than we do, they probably do, but we know more about life. And that's why we are still the parents. So we have to remember that. So many parents are afraid because their children know more about technology, they think they can't be parents. In the United States, 120 years ago, and now from Mexico, many people come from Mexico to the United States to live. And the grandparents and the parents maybe don't speak English. The children learn English very quickly. Can you tell me of any Mexican father or mother or grandparent who will say, oh, my 8-year-old son or daughter or granddaughter or grandson understands English more. They will be the parents. I don't think so. You may have them translate for you. You may have them talk to the landlord or the police or to someone, but you are still the parent. We need to remember that here. It's the same. It's the same. We don't understand the language, but we understand life. We have to stay in charge. It's really that simple. I'll teach you everything else. So, 70% of cyberbullying occurs anonymously. The young people will use someone else's identity or use an anonymous account. It might be a Yahoo account, it might be a Gmail account, a Hotmail account, something they set up for free, and they pretend sometimes to be their victim and sometimes to be someone else who's a stranger. So the young people never know if it's their best friend or their worst enemy. That's hard. It makes them paranoid. And it is often a friend, not their best friend, but one layer out. 70% of the cyberbullies occur among friends, not best friends. And we have young people do this research with each other. We need to do special research here in Mexico, and I'm going to want your help to do this. So they sometimes, and this is a real problem, we are now seeing increases in cyberbullies using a fake identity to pretend to be their victim and reporting their victim or harassing hate groups, gangs. In the United States, in New Jersey, there was a young girl who was 15. When she was 13, another girl liked the same boy, created a Facebook page that looked identical to the real one, and over 2 years developed friends posting as her. They were both black. The other girl took a naked sexual picture of herself from here down. She posted it online, pretending to be Nafisa, the victim. She said, I want to have sex with men and boys anywhere. Name, address, telephone number. People approached her, called her, emailed her, looking to have sex, thinking she was advertising sex. Luckily, she wasn't attacked. The person then went to the gangs and messaged the gangs, pretending to be this girl, saying, you're not so tough. I think you're stupid. I think you're weak. I'm not afraid of you. Name, address, telephone number. The gangs reacted. They didn't know that a 15-year-old girl was using them for her own personal retaliation. Eventually, after she was beaten up very badly, she came to me and others for help, and we found out what happened. This is happening in Mexico. The kids are sending it to pedophile groups, sex traffickers, and they're sending it to gangs. They are also sending it to white supremacist groups that operate out of other countries and don't like Mexicans, trying to target their victim using other people. We call this cyberbullying by proxy. You use someone else to hurt your victim. They often have the passwords of the accounts of their victims. 70% of teens share their passwords with at least one other person. 85% of preteens share their password with someone else. Even if they don't share their password, there are 20 questions that almost all of us use to create our passwords. Our middle name, our pet's name, our favorite rock group, our favorite television star, or the school we go to, all of the things that we all use when we come up with passwords. And if you're in school or you're a neighbor of the students, you know these answers, and you just try them until you get it. So they often can guess their way into someone's account, or they save their password on a school computer, or they have their cell phones opened and they go for milk, and the students who are sitting behind in the cafeteria use the cell phone and take it over. They may have a private, personal, sexual image. In the United States, I'm on MTV's advisory board, and MTV and Associated Press did a survey, and we found that 1/3 of the teens in the United States had taken a sexual or naked picture and shared it with someone else, boys and girls. Girls do it because they want older boys to like them. They do it because their boyfriends ask them. They do it to avoid having real sex because they're just sending a picture longer. So you're getting more conservative teens who are doing this. They do it because they're blackmailed. They do it because they're drunk. They do it because they're bored. They do it because they're angry at their parents or their boyfriend or someone. Boys tend to do it to show the girls what they're missing. The easy way to educate boys about this is to have good-looking girls, beautiful girls, say, "I'm not going out with you because you sent me a naked picture." That helps. The rest requires that we look at the reasons they do it and come up with many different programs to address it. But if you have raging hormones of a 13 to 15-year-old who likes a boy or likes a girl and wants them, or they're drunk and being pressured, they are going to take this picture. Our trusted kids who are very good, they don't use bad language, they come home when they're supposed to, their grades are good, are taking naked pictures and sending them out. Some of us may have done this with Polaroid cameras when we were young. I don't think there's anyone in this room who knows what a Polaroid camera is, which tells you how old I am. It's a camera you could take and a picture would come out. But now these kids are putting it online and millions of people can see it. And what we've learned is within 30 minutes of a threat that someone else will make a sexual image public, we are seeing self-harm faster than any other kind of digital abuse. Kids are cutting, kids are attempting suicide, they're planning suicides. 30 minutes. So this goes to the top of most of the big networks' triage. When someone reports an abuse, this goes before missing children. This goes before abuse and death threats. This goes to the top because you have 30 minutes to intervene if you have a young person who is at risk for self-harm or suicide. They share the pictures sometimes with one person, and that one person shares it with the world. And in the United States, these qualify as child pornography. And we are seeing police arrest children as young as 13 for taking their own naked picture. So Whoopi Goldberg is going to be helping me fight this. When laws that are used to fine sexual predators who prey on children are used against children who are just stupid. So, next. The best way to deal with this is not laws that restrict the internet companies and providers. It's not laws that criminalize a lot of this behavior. Young people don't know the laws, and even if they know it, they don't think you can find them. You need laws that allow police to investigate crimes against children, even if they are by other children. We need police. Police are the only ones who could issue subpoenas to get the information that we need from the industry. So someone who pretends to be you may look like you, but only police can tell the difference with the cooperation of the industry. You need strong laws, but not laws restricting and governing industry. I am one of 5 members of Facebook's International Safety Advisory Board. It's unpaid. I am one of the limited advisors, there are 5 of us in the United States that advise Google. It's unpaid. I advise the FBI, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Home Office, and law enforcement officers around the world, as well as Interpol. We need training for police. They need to understand what to do and what not to do. We need a way to tell the difference between a picture taken by a young person because they like a boy or like a girl or they were stupid, compared to a picture taken of a young person by a sex trafficker. They need to know what cases to investigate and what cases we can handle. We need to teach everyone to understand the laws that exist and understand the penalties that are involved. They need to understand their rights. We need to educate them how to report something to Facebook or Google or wherever they are. We need to get the industry involved in best practices. How many of you are familiar with Ask.fm? Ask.fm was created in Latvia. It's one of those anonymous sites where you can post questions and get answers. Young people went there. They've been going to the anonymous sites for years. Most of the time we were able to shut them down through a loophole in US laws. It helps that I'm a cyber lawyer. Ask.fm was involved in more suicides connected with cyberbullying than any other site. We couldn't get cooperation for law enforcement from them. They were in Latvia. They thought that they were disconnected to the United States or Canada or any of the countries I was dealing with. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom went on television and told everyone to boycott the site. The laws were insufficient, almost. We worked with Ask.com, the encyclopedia site, who brought a legal action for trademark infringement against Ask.fm. While criminal laws dealing and protecting our children are not very strong around the world, trademark and intellectual property laws are very strong. Through their lawsuit and through actions brought by the New York Attorney General's office and the North Carolina Attorney General's office, Ask.com took over Ask.fm. We have just agreed, and this is not a formal announcement, they'll make it soon, to put together a youth advisory board. I'm going to want 2 students from Mexico to be part of that, who will help me advise the new Ask.fm how to operate safely and deal with these issues. So I'm going to be looking for nominations here. They have to, unfortunately, speak English until I'm practicing my Spanish a little bit better. But young people care about making a difference. We need to make sure the industry knows. Google's doing a great job. Facebook's doing a great job. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. They're doing a lot, but no one's reporting this to them. Few people report it to YouTube. Few people report it to Facebook or Instagram. They own Instagram. They don't report it. Until they report it, they can't do anything to help. We need to teach everyone in Mexico how to make reports effectively so that they can get the help they need. These are simple things so far. Remember, you're the parent. Know how to report things. Be supportive of your children. Don't be afraid of technology. Get young people involved. So far, nothing hard, right? If your children are cyberbullied, the next thing I'm going to teach you is also very simple. Stop, block, and tell. Stop, don't answer back if someone's saying something mean to you. Block the person or message, and tell a trusted adult. Simple. If they answer back, they're giving the cyberbully what they want, and now you're looking at World War II. They will do things, but quietly. They're not going to show them who they are. They block them so they don't have to see anymore, and they go to you or to others as trusted adults. And in our trusted adult program that we talked about, I'll teach you what to do when that happens. Is that pretty simple? Stop, block, and tell. Next, if we can break the cycle, kids are seeing attacks coming from others. If we can stop that and get them to remember how strong they are, remember self-confidence, because when someone's attacking you online, threatening you online, you feel very weak and vulnerable. You don't know who they are. You don't know what to do. So we tell them to take 5. Drop the mouse or the cell phone or the game adapter. Walk away and do something offline that you love to do for 5 minutes. Sing, dance, draw, be Mexican creative, listen to a mariachi band, eat chilaquiles. Be something that you know makes you strong. Meditate, sleep, play with your brother, hit your brother, talk to your mother, call your friends. Do something that helps you feel strong and good and happy. If we can get them to disassociate with that technology just for a little while, take 5 minutes away from it, they will remember that they are strong. They will remember that what these strangers say online or their friends say online are words that won't hurt them unless they allow them to. You still understanding me? So, we need to engage. I want all of you in the audience, all of you who are watching through streaming, everyone you know, everyone you trust, everyone you can call. I want all of the television stations, I want all of the newspapers, I want all of the magazines, the kids' magazines, I want book publishers, I want everyone, churches, youth groups, scouts, guides, I want everyone to be part of the solution. We teach our children to look both ways before they cross the street. Do you require an expert to teach your children to look both ways before they cross the street? No. We require that they don't take candy from strangers. We have all these tips. Don't share family secrets with others. Treat yourself with respect. Treat others with respect. The golden rule. Looking to the Bible for how to treat people the way we want to be treated. That's internet safety. Who knew? You don't need me to fly down here from New York. You don't need us to tell you these things. I'll share what I know, and I'll do it in Spanish if you give me a week and enough alambres. We can do this together, but everyone has to be involved with a common goal. And the goal cannot be turning off technology. It can't be limiting our children to their future. If you do, you are shutting down your country. I created a cyber safety program for the government of Singapore in 1998. Singapore is a 26-mile across island. Their biggest gross national product comes from intellectual property and content. They started early because they knew their future involved young people who are experts in the use of digital technology. Here, tourism. Here, farm goods, plants, fruits, flowers. Here, production of cars. Here, production of content, but not enough. And what I want to do is tap your creativity because honestly, I need it not only in Mexico. I need it through South and Central America. I need it in Spain, and I need it around the world. Translating to words is easy. But what programs we do have to be honest under the Mexican culture. It can't be exported from New York as to what I believe. It needs to be taking what I know and making it Mexican, not only in Spanish, but in culture, in strengths, in values, in beliefs. Give me your children, give me your parents, with the cooperation of government, law enforcement, and industry and other NGOs, I will give you a country prepared to take over the world and show everyone how special you are, whatever language we speak in. Next. So, my advice for members of government who are listening here in the audience or online is please do not react in your way to protect children until you know what we need to protect children. I recommend that we create a Mexican task force. I'd be honored to be involved. I would do this for free with some chiles quiles. And I think we need to make sure that we put the Internet Society and Alejandro Pisante, who's been doing this around the world since before I was doing this, with the help of others, with the help of the industry members who are in the room, those who are watching. I will be involved as a member of Facebook Safety Advisory Board. I can't speak for Facebook, but I'm sure Facebook wants to be involved. I know Google's involved. They're already involved. Microsoft is involved in these issues at all. Ask.fm will help. Everyone will help because I will make them, or you will charm them. And I suggest once we get together as a cyber army here from Mexico, you will help me protect children everywhere. And when I go to Mexico and when I go to Spain and I speak in Spanish and I say ahorita, they won't make fun of me as a Mexicana because they will learn from you. I have several books I've written for Spain. I will get the permission of the publishers to make them available here. Whatever I can make available for free, I will. We have $6 million worth of content from Wired Safety, the charity I run, that's been developed over 20 years. I will give it to you. You translate it, you make it Mexican, and together we will fight all of the problems that we're facing online and help remind people, young and old, how important this technology is for their future. We will arm our children on how to prevent these problems, and we will make them cyber warriors to help in the solutions. I will get young people as young as 12 to go to other schools to talk to other students. We've been doing this since 1998. I will advise your government and your big industry members on how they can help. And we will take everything we're doing for the United States that you like, and we'll make it Mexican. And we'll take everything I'm doing for Canada that you like and make it Mexican. And I will make this all available. All of our programs will be free. You will help me translate because we don't have enough money to do that. You will help me program. You will help me create. And eventually I'll sit back and watch what you have produced. I'll be available for questions and answers and expertise, as will my volunteers. It's time. Mexico is worth it. It's worth it to me to fly down on 3 days' notice to meet with you. Alejandro told me what you were doing. I charged $10,000 to speak. Not here. But I got chiles quiles. So I'm happy. And the thing that makes me the happiest is finding others who believe in the internet, believe in the digital technology, see the future, who will help protect our children from real risks. There are risks. We can't deny those, but there are far more benefits. It's like saying none of our children can go in a car because they're car accidents. Instead, we teach people to be good drivers. We teach them not to drink and drive. We create rules that cause us to stop at stop signs. We make sure the cars themselves are safe, and all the manufacturers put the things in that we need. We make them use seat belts, and we put in those bag things. We need to do the same with the internet. We need to stop saying it's horrible and recognize that without it, our children have no future. Without it, we have no jobs. Without it, Mexico has no voice. I believe in Mexico, and I'm willing to help in any way I can. Next. I told you about this already. We have received every award you could possibly get around the world. UNESCO put me in charge of North America and protecting our children from sexual predators. I now work essentially for free doing this. Disney made a comment. They said if they want me to do something and they don't have enough money to pay me, tell me it's good for children. That's not a good reputation to have, but apparently it's true. Next. That's my telephone number. It's my cell number. If you call it, either give me warning or be prepared to speak in English. If you leave a message, People are not supposed to report cyber crimes and cyber abuses to my cell phone. They do all the time. I do not return those calls. We operate by email in helping victims. And we're putting together a helpline that will be live on helping them deal with that. So if you call, leave a message telling me that you're part of this Mexican event. So I will call you back. I have Skype, but I rarely turn it on. If you want to reach me on Skype, it's Parry Aftab, my first name and my last name. Anything that's Parry Aftab is almost always me, unless it's a troll trying to do bad things about me. My email address is parry@aftab.com, first name @lastname.com. You can go to aftab.com to learn more about me. We are revamping Stop Cyberbullying and Wired Safety. I want to have a Mexican Spanish version of those pages, so I'm going to be looking to you for help. StopCyberbullying is ours, .com, .org, .everything. We are the largest and the first cyberbullying prevention group in the world, and we're creating a new site with the help of some of our industry partners called Sextpertise for young people who are involved in sexting and don't know what to do to get out of the problem, and for their parents, dedicated just to that issue. We have a training program and a new technology we're developing with Interpol that will help us protect our children when those pictures go public. So, that's it. Questions? No? We're going to get a microphone for the questions. And again, discúlpame. Yo quiero hablar en español, pero no puedo. Suficiente. Whenever I speak in Spanish, they ask me to do it in English, after calling me a Mexican.
Good morning, Parry. Thank you very much for your talk. Congratulations for your interest in Mexico. Thank you very much. My question is, how can I tell to young people that it's important don't put pictures, sex pictures in Facebook, for example? How can I do that?
Teach this to others? Do you
Yes.
mean? Yes. So sexual pictures or any pictures?
Any pictures.
Any pictures. I think what we need to do is more educational programs. And what people tell me we need to do is make it real. So when we lecture and say, don't put personal pictures on Facebook, no one's going to listen to us. You put the pictures of your children up so that your grandparents and cousins can see them. We put them up because our friends want them. What we need to do is to teach them what pictures they can put up, which ones they shouldn't put up, and how to protect the ones that other people shouldn't see. It's really the emphasis on us learning how to use privacy settings and who to share with. So it comes back to the basics. Who are our friends? What are our privacy settings? How do we educate people to use them properly? So Facebook knows what to do, but if no one uses the privacy settings, then it's a problem. So what we need to do is find some 13-year-olds who will teach the parents how to do it. So we'll reach out on television and we'll tell all the 13-year-olds to show their parents how to set up the privacy settings on Facebook.
Okay.
They listen to their kids better, and they're cheaper than cyber safety consultants.
Thank you. What we need to do to be volunteer of your organization? What we need to do? What need to do?
You're a perfect example because you're involved as a provider. So what you can do is take some of the content we have, do some early translations, and tell all of your users what we have. We can do YouTube introductory programs, so we can teach them skills. There are 5 major skills they need to learn as parents to protect themselves and their families. We need to make it easier. We need to not scare them. We need to empower them. I'll work with you first, if you want, that we together can reach out to parents.
Do you have a representation here in Mexico?
No, I flew in just for this, and I fly out this afternoon. But I will come back. It's easy for me to come from New York to Mexico City. I can come to Mexico in 4 hours, 3 hours. You tell me to come down, you cover my airfare, and feed me well, and I'll be here. I promise not to charge you $10,000.
Perhaps our association, Internet Association, could be the first one in Mexico.
I am absolutely delighted to work with you and help you do that,
Thank you.
okay? This is why I love Mexico. It's not only food and mariachis, not only your art and history. What a wonderful place to do this is here at this museum today that talks about the long culture, the important contributions people in this region have had to world history, scientific development, art, creativity, and innovation. And here now, among all of the wonderful exhibits we have in this Museum of Anthropology, we are now looking at the future. I wonder what pictures they'll take from the internet and turn into the next display. Maybe we help build that future, so when people 1,000 years from now look back, they'll say, it started there and it started in Mexico. Thank you again. I really appreciate you asking me, Alejandro. Always thank you. Manuel, thank you for getting me here. And thank you all for coming, and all of you who are watching online. If you have more questions, I'm sure they'll give you a link. You can use a hashtag. You can find me at Twitter at ParryAftab and our other programs, and we will answer them. So thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias. Vamos a continuar con la siguiente mesa. Bueno, más bien vamos a iniciar la primera mesa del día de hoy. La mesa se trata sobre seguridad de la infraestructura y resiliencia de la red. Nos va a hacer el honor de moderar esta mesa Julio Telles, a quien le pido que se integre. Y convoco, por favor, a los panelistas participantes a integrarse al panel. Y una vez que comience la mesa, les pediríamos que nos hagan el favor de presentarse cada quien, la organización de la que vienen, y continuar en todo caso con su participación. Don Julio, muy buenos días y muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Les cedo la palabra como moderador de la mesa.
Muchas gracias. Invito a los ponentes a que se sienten, por favor.